So I've just changed this user account to author. Before it was contributor, so I could do almost everything except when I publish a post, it doesn't really go public. Somebody else has to approve it. Now I set it to author, which means it should go public right away, and you can add a featured image. So I'm going to do it again, but show you how it'll actually all look. So if I was going to do a book review of The Hunger Games, I'd probably type in the title and then the author name, Suzanne Collins. I'm not sure if I'm spelling that right. You can add media also. If you don't want to add a featured post, you can still add pictures or images. Like if you want to have different images in the post, that's fine. I'll go up to Hunger Games on Amazon and find book 1, 24,000 reviews. Wow. So I'm just grabbing the ISIN number here so that I can put it into the Amazon product in a post. Product is active. Below the content. And I can show an Amazon description, or I don't have to. So that's basically it. And then down here under reviews, I'll enable the review, enable user ratings, and then I'll add plotting, character development, romance, action, or whatever else I want to add. It probably depends on the book. So I'd add in my criteria, and then it'll add it up down here for me. I would do stars. I could say, wow, amazing. You want to be a little bit conscious of the keywords that you're using. Like if you're using off-the-shelf info to bring in the right kind of readers. For example, if I'm a young adult dystopian author, I would want to highlight those things in the Hunger Games. And I might even want to do something a little more interesting. Instead of like a review of the Hunger Games by Susan Collins, I might want to say, why are dystopian books so popular with teens? Something that's a little more of an issue, something that you're kind of investigating or comparing or contrasting several books, might be a more successful and more interesting post than a straight review. If you do that, of course, you don't have to use this Amazon product page. If it's not really a book review of a certain book, then you just don't have to use this at all. I think you could just uncheck that and it wouldn't show up. So I'm going to pick dystopian. I could pick more than one, I think, if I want. I can add young adult, or dystopian, or whatever. But then I can also add a featured image. Whoops. If I'm adding a featured image, what you're really, for a book review, you're just going to want to grab the cover, but you need to get a cover that's big enough. So like when you search for images, you have to make sure you find an image. This one's 1000 pixels by 1500. That's big enough. It's got to be at least, like this is only 420 pixels wide. And that's not quite big enough because, let me show you how it's going to look. So your featured image is going to look kind of something like this. So this is about 600 pixels wide. So if I don't use a big enough image, it's going to be blurry. So you want to get something that's big, but then it's going to crop it. Like this was an earlier one where it shows a lot more of the review, but I didn't use a big enough image, so it's really not very clear. So you want to grab a picture that's clear enough. And when you add it as the featured image, you want to change some of this title, because it's usually just, if you grab it from the internet, it's going to be random code. You want it to say something like Hunger Games dystopian review. You want to add some keywords in there. You don't need a caption, but you can put alt text. That just helps the picture to show up better in search engines. So I've set this featured image now. I can type out my review. You want it to be about 500 words or so, and then I can hit publish. And if you're an author, you can hit publish right away. We'll still do some quality checking and make sure that everything looks good, so we might edit your post after. But like I said, we'll let you be a contributor for a while to make sure you've got the process down before we upgrade you to author, so that you can just publish it yourself. So now, once you've published it, you should view the post and kind of see how it looks and make sure things are how you want. So this is kind of what happened. This was the cover, and it just takes a chunk of the cover. So it was big enough because it's clear enough. It looks pretty good. This part looks okay. And then down here is the summary that's pulling straight from Amazon, and it puts a little book cover. I didn't use the same book cover. You don't have to. Like if you find another image that's really good, like even you could take the movie image, or if you're doing a movie review, you don't have to use the book cover for the featured image. You just want a good image that's representative of the content of your post. But if you're doing a book review, like these are book reviews I've done where I've just used the cover, and those will show up and look good in here, and also show the ratings and everything. These I made earlier, so well, they look okay actually. So see, this is the cover, but it's only cropping a piece of the cover, which looks really good as long as I use a big enough image. So you just want to make sure that you do use a big enough image. But that's basically how your reviews will look. It's too bad you can't really control this and pick what part of the cover you want to use. You'd have to, like if I wanted to fix this, I would just have to crop the cover. So for example, that one's The Siren by Kiera Cass. So this is the full cover, and it's just cropping in the middle. But I could crop out the top part if I wanted, or like just this part, and only upload that part. You could edit it with another graphics editor, or I could even just, like if you have something that allows you to take a screenshot, oops, you could just crop out the part that you want to use as your featured image and then upload that for your featured image, and that would work. So I'm going to stop this video here. Good luck with your reviews. I look forward to seeing what you post on the site.